ago. Thought that
Well, welcome back to the channel, Grand Colombia, and welcome to our weekly every Sunday coffee time. What was that little delay there? It got this little icon from the microphone. I thought it was off, and I couldn't make it out. So didn't want to start talking if no sound was coming out. So big event this week. Looking forward to telling you about it, but not quite yet. It'll be a little bit later in this show. We have yet another gorgeous day in Armenia, Colombia. Since the rainy season stopped about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, the weather has been, for me, it's been perfect. It's just fantastic. Right now, it's in the low 70s. It got a breeze going. It's amazing. Buenos dias from Armenia, Colombia. Oh yeah, hola. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, first of all, I want to show you what you viewers have built here, contributions. I know I've shown little glimpses before, but I'm going to show it again because I'm just so happy. This has been about 3 years. This is my little studio with both screens. I got the questions on the one side, I got the controls for the video on the other side. It's freaking awesome. Everything's working. I know this was like an ultra cheap $50-some microphone setup, including the boom, but the thing's fantastic. The reviews said so. And this toner mic is actually made in the United States, which was pretty cool because most of them out there are Chinese. And I had bought one that was, one of those low end, and I've still got it, but it didn't sound right. It just had this weird sound. And this one sounds good. I'm very pleased with it. And it's, a result of you guys. It's a combination of, me making very frugal choices and you helping me with it. So we're there. Now, everybody's got to wear a mask. So make sure you got your mask on. I'm going to go through the show with no, not today. So first, I want to talk about subtitles. Now, the first video that we put out for Natalie, I did subtitles manually. Now, that was a 3-minute video, I think including the intro and the ending, and it took me a couple hours. I can't do that. It's a freaking nightmare. I can't do it manually. It's accurate, came out really good, but I just can't do that. As a matter of fact, I have so much going on in my channel. I just don't have the time to do that. I can record it for her. I can do a quick edit for her. That's why it's supposed to be 5 minutes. Although the last one, it took 10 minutes, but that's going to happen. But I can't be doing the subtitles also. So I've been looking at some software, various softwares. Now, her second video, which I put out the end of this last week, it was supposed to be Wednesday. It was late by several days, and it was all about the subtitles. It was already completed, before Wednesday, but I was trying to work out the subtitles. The problem was she was doing a comparison of languages or words that you would say in Mexico as compared to Colombia. And so where a word would be completely normal in Colombia, it would have some sexual connotation, get you in a little trouble, maybe get you a slap in the face. It was kind of a humorous thing. The problem is, how do you put subtitles on something that is like that? Because we're talking about meanings behind the dictionary. And so that wasn't really going to work out. So finally, I just gave up and I just put it up with no subtitles. But I did find a piece of software that I tried on I uploaded it again. So it's actually 3 times. One time I put it up. Second time it just appeared out of nowhere with a different title, but it was Bucaramanga Overview. And then I decided I grabbed that one and I ran this through the machine for subtitles and I posted that up. And so I now have a new playlist on the channel called Subtitles. And there should be 3 videos in there right now. And I'm going to experiment with this over the next month or so. Now, the Bucaramanga one came out pretty good, but it had some errors in it. It was understandable, but it made it kind of humorous. I forget what I forget what they were, but there was a handful of errors that just were kind of nonsensical. But overall, it worked. And the reason I want to do that is, we've got a fair amount of Spanish-speaking people that watch the channel, and I just think it would be nice for them. Also, people trying to learn, maybe they like to hear it in English and see it in Spanish, or in Natalie's case, hear it in Spanish and see it in English. So I'm going to be playing with that. I can't promise it's going to be there forever, but it will be there for a little while. I will be in Armenia on Thursday, apartment hunting. Finally got my visa with Luz. Keep the mask on. Yeah, hide this ugly face. Okay, pardon me. I already had my coffee this morning. Love water. Okay, so that's it on the subtitles. Now, the big thing is I finally, things keep popping up, getting in the way when you're trying to account. I'm a busy guy here. But finally, I went down to the driving school and I signed up for my driver's license. It's been a long time coming. Now, I've looked at a couple different schools comparison. Now, in Medellin, you can actually, pay some money, and all you really have to do is get your physical, take the test, and be able to drive. But here in Armenia, they won't do that. But Natalie actually helped me out. Daytona didn't want to do squat, but she found a driving school that, and these driving schools, understand, they're actually attached to the government. So they're private institutions, but they act like DMV where they do the classes and testing. Now, she convinced them, showed the license. I've been driving for 50 years, my U.S. license. And so they agreed that this is normally what would happen in this school. You would go for 4 hours a day for 4 weeks, and that's for the theory portion. Basically, you're sitting in the classroom and you're learning about a car, how to start a car, road signs, laws of the road, legal issues, all of that. She convinced them for me to do 2 hours for a week. Well, initially they said 2 weeks, but if everything goes well after a week, then they'll put me right into the practical, which means go out and drive a car. And if I can drive a car, then I can take the test and process it from there. At that point, it'll take a couple weeks for the license to materialize, and I'll be good to go. So we're looking at about a month, maybe 6 weeks, and I should have my license. Now, what it turns out I get to do, this is like a plus for the COVID thing, even though they have classroom with people going there. She did say that I can go in Tuesday, which would be my first class. I go in Tuesday and you have to log in with a fingerprint and a signature, and it's computerized. And so the fingerprint and signature shoots off into the DMV software. I can go in and do that, but then I can leave and they'll give me virtual classes through WhatsApp. Remember I said everything is WhatsApp here? Oh, by the way, I did go on, what the heck's the name of it? Telegram. I've had it for quite a while. I just never really used it. I went on Telegram, and it shows you people in your list that are on it. And there were a couple people, and I shot off messages to them, but then they didn't really want to work with it. They wanted to work with What's Up. But most people I knew, and all the businesses and things, are all on What's Up. So, I just to address something last week. I mean, I get with you. I'm with you on that. But if the whole point is to be able to communicate, you're not going to do it if you don't have What's Up. So they're going to school me on What's Up, so I can use the translator, and so that's pretty cool. I mean, they were very, very flexible. I still have to go through the motions of some of the stuff, and then I get my physical. Oh, and yeah, it was kind of like, okay, when you get your license, it's good for 10 years. But then after you hit 65 maybe, then it goes down to 5 years. And then when you're around 70 or something, it drops to, you have to go every year. And a lot of states in the US are like that. But she seemed to take way too much pleasure in explaining it about how everybody gets to do the 10 years, but mine's going to be only 5 years. It's like, okay, rub it in. But anyway, we got through that. And we're going to get to some questions here shortly, but I just got a couple more things. Where is it? What do we got? Okay, first, if you go to YouTube and you type in Marcelo Draw, this guy is a guard in my building. He's a cool guy. He's always been very helpful. But he's a guard in this building. I mean, he has a drawing channel, and it's one of those channels where, the paper's there in the hand, and it does it like accelerated speed. In 5 minutes, he's got a complete picture. He's freaking awesome. They are really cool. He's very talented. I'm going to see if I can get him to actually do a couple pictures that I can hang on the wall. I just have to decide what it's going to be. They're photorealistic style. He also does a lot of anime things, but they're really good. So you might want to take a look at that. It's I just found it interesting. You may not. And then the other thing is I've been trying to find channels where I can live stream, house my content, because YouTube has been tough to work with. If you listen to any other YouTubers, we're all complaining about it because it's really frustrating. And so, I'm looking for alternatives. And mine has nothing to do with what I say. I don't swear. And, I avoid politics. And then, I try not to say the corona word and, all the things that can create problems for you. So I'm a good boy, but it has nothing to do with that. They're really trying to get rid of small channels, and they just make it really difficult. Like labeling my channel pornographic before the live stream even begins, crazy things like that. So it looks like, and I've been looking at this stuff for over a year. Everything that people have suggested to me, I've actually got accounts on. I've dabbled with it. Everybody keeps saying Rumble. Rumble absolutely sucks. From my end, not from you go in and look at a video. From my end, it's unworkable. It is a piece of trash. I'm tired of trying. I'm tired of uploading videos to Rumble and have them 3 days later maybe appear, very often never appear. It takes time to upload videos. I have tried countless times, and I've got I have 2 or 3 videos on that channel, and I've been trying for months. That is pathetic. It's ridiculous. They're scumbags that can't get this thing to work. Okay. That might be my frustration coming out. I'm sure they're perfectly nice people. It's just not a channel I can work with. I don't have time to sit there and try to re-upload day after day to get a 15-minute video up. So I've used for ages a channel called Library, LBRY.com or .tv. And it's been great. The only problem is the playback would be, would pause. and like freeze and go and freeze and go. And, there's a word for that, but buffering. Oh, where's my English? Okay, so it would buffer, and obviously that's not very watchable. But that's more of a commercial, behind the scenes kind of place. But what they did was they came out with a consumer oriented, with a viewer, a channel of the view program, whatever it is. All right, I'm falling apart right in front of your eyes. I just can't remember any English anymore. I need to hear it more often. So that viewer works quite well. I've seen no buffering on it. And so everything that I have on library, which is my entire library, 600 videos, they're all on there. They're safe. Nobody messes with them. When you go to odyssey.com, it's all right there. It's accessible. It ties right in and puts it into their viewer. It works great. But they don't have live streaming. And so this dlive.tv, I'm actually at this very moment live streaming on there, as well as Facebook and YouTube. And so I'm live streaming to 3 different locations. The DLive is pretty good. It does not house videos, however. It's just for live streamers. And they want you to live stream a lot, which is funny because other places, don't want you to, or they want to charge you. Before a certain thing even open up for me, I've got to have 8 hours in there. So I'm probably going to pop up a couple spontaneous live streams on DLive this coming week about God knows what, just to get the time down so I can access a feature that I need. So it looks like I'm settling on these. I haven't made this announcement before. I'm making it now because I'm pretty confident with it. And so I'm going to proceed as though that's it. And last thing, and we'll get to Q&A, is I spent a couple hours yesterday on the grandcolumbia.live website. And I've updated everything I could find, all the contact information, contribution information. This live video is, if you go to that website and click on the tab that says videos, the first thing that pops up will be this right now at this moment. This video will be live streaming on that website. So if you're not sure about where or what or how, you can go to that website, and that's where, this will be showing. So you don't have to go to DLive or anything else. Just go to grandcolumbia.live. It's got everything. It's got the payment gateways. It's got the blog. It's got the podcast. Everything is there. So that's that. I'm done with that. Thank goodness. I know some of you hate the inside stuff. A lot of people want to know. And what do I got here? Oh, it's that time. It's Q&A time. It's time to start asking your questions. Remember, 4 question marks first, then ask the question. Don't say S-bags or you will be blocked again. Okay. Thanks, Rob. Rob is the moderator on the channel, and he's watching for trolls for me. Which we don't really get, but there's a group of them in Medellin, and our group is pretty good. And I see today we've got a couple new people, and thank you, welcome to the channel. But I worry every week that some of these guys are going to drop in and just for the sake of causing problems or disruption, start putting weird or nasty comments. So I asked Rob if he could keep an eye on it. All right, what do we got here? Can you explain what lose is in 1,000 words or less? Lose. Lights? Light. Lose. Or do you mean lose in Pereira? Oh, yeah. Okay, Luz has an office in Pereira, and she does the visa service that I have raved about. Before I went to her, there were 5 or 6 people that I knew that had gone and had 100% flawless, wonderful service. I went, found the same thing, took 10 days, it was done. I didn't have to do anything except go to the office the first time. All the chasing to Bogota, everything was handled for me. It cost me under $500 to have everything done. Their fee amounted to about $100 or so, unlike the $350 they're charging out of Medellin. So it was pretty much awesome. So since I went, I've recommended to more than a dozen people, and the feedback I've gotten from everybody is the same experience. So as long as I keep getting this awesome feedback, I'm going to keep recommending her. It's her and her husband and somebody else in the office. In the front of the office, there's a copy machine, and right near it, photo in case you forget certain things. But she just makes it so easy. You can email her. She doesn't really speak English, but it doesn't matter. You can email her in English. She'll figure it out and get back to you. I do want to do a video, but I'm not going to do it today. But there is a new visa law around the what the heck's it called? It's another way you can get a visa by having investments, not in Colombia necessarily, but where they'll take into account rental properties in the U.S. you might have and you're collecting rents on, various things. You could put, let's say you sold a house and you wanted to retire, but you're only 50 years old, is just an example. If you take that house money, you put it into a fund that distributes you, certain little bit of income every month, they'll give you a visa. So contrary to what a lot of people are saying, actually making it easier to get a visa. So, I may get into that, but if you're not of retirement age, but you've got a steady income, there's another door that's open, and you don't have to put $100,000 in the bank here or, buy a big house or something. So, all right, where are we at? YouTube in the U.S. terrible on consumers. DLive works great. Yeah, DLive is pretty. I'm very happy with it so far. Let's just hope it stays like that. I'm shocked that they just, if you want to stream 8 hours straight, they're good with it. They're happy with it. It's a blockchain thing, and so as you stream, people are making cryptocurrency. So it's. They're making money with you streaming instead of charging you money. So it's pretty awesome. And that's why it's free. They want people in there being active. How much will Kansas City win by tonight? Man, my typing is flawless. Yeah. Do they require a blood type test for that visa? Not that I'm aware of. I don't know of any except marriage visa. And even that, I don't know if they still do that. I had one once. You had to get a blood type for the marriage visa. But I don't know. You can email, that office, and if you're wanting to know, send me an email, and I'll send you a picture of her business card. It's got her phone address and email on it. You can just email off to her. Okay, let's see, where are we at? What we got? I'm so late, so I may have missed it, but what's new with Natalie? Natalie's doing fine. She bought the furniture that I was tired of having. I had 2 living room sets, and one of them I hated. And it's a long story, but I hated it. And so she bought it, and they got it out of here yesterday. Now, I got to complain. She sent her mom here again yesterday to clean my apartment. That's, it's like, so anyway, her mom comes. Now, last time she was here, she uprooted my world. Everything was in a different place. She didn't like where anything was. I couldn't find anything. So I said, please tell her not to touch anything. Dude, clean, but if you pick something up, put it right back where you found it. Okay, so every time I turn around, I'm trying to find my shirts. I can't find them. I've tried to make coffee. I got my frother up in a cabinet. I've got my pot, my little mocha pot, down in the pots and pans. I've got everything was scattered to the wind. She changed up all my dishes again. All the things that I have for cooking that I have laid out, they're all moved. She moved the silverware. She moved all my attachments. I got my little arepa burner because I love chocolate once in a while. Chocolate arepa, it's like cornbread. And I'll throw it on this little burner and you put it on the stove. That was completely missing. It took me about an hour to actually locate it. I mean, I get it. I appreciate it. But this was part of the dating problem that I had is like everybody that was over a certain age were all like that. And it's like, drives me freaking crazy. I know where I want things. I know why I want them there. I'm a recovering OCD person as it is. And while I can tolerate things that are askew these days, and I don't drive myself as crazy, but it's like, it's maddening. She went through my drawers with all of my spare toothpaste and bars of soap and all the spares that you have. And she had to go through and make them like little army marching soldier, which is fine. But a lot of times I get up, it's in the dark, and I know where it is in the dark, and I just reach down and grab what I need, and I go in the bathroom. It's like I have no idea where anything is. It's like, stop it. Do you want to comment on how well the room rental combined with your relocation and guide services are going? I'm sure I can. It's going pretty well. James is here. I think I did real well by him. I've got him in touch with certain people. He just got back from a 2-day cruise to Manizales and bird watching and picked up a lot of information. I think he's happy with what I provided. He was here for a day, stayed here, and it gave time to find other places. And so it's a good if you've never been here, especially, it's a good way to kind of get here and get your best foot forward. I've got him set up with a guide to him and Coleman. They're going to be going to Salento and other things, and so that's going real well. The car, I don't have my license, can't really use the car right now. So what I'm doing, what I did with James, for example, I just took a taxi to the airport. We took a taxi back, and so we're not having to deal with that yet. I've got a couple coming February 2nd. There's somebody else coming February 15th. There's somebody else coming the beginning of March. I've got somebody coming to visit with me this afternoon, a couple. I don't know. He was talking about hiring me for something. Don't know what that is, but we'll talk this afternoon. And there's somebody else. If they're out there for a while, I don't worry too much. But when we get within 2 weeks, then I sit down and start planning, because flights change, and so I just don't want to go too crazy setting things up and then having it just be a waste of time. But having said all of that, it's working exactly the way I'd hoped it did. And, I think it's a great service for people. I think it's very reasonable for what I'm doing. And, for you guys that will be planning to do it, I thank you. You definitely get your money's worth. What's Natalie's phone number? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I can do that. I can hook you up. Just glue everything down. And I can't tell you how maddening it is for me. Okay, Lauren, I was looking at videos. I found a great town on one, but can't remember the name of the town. Would you research that for me? Okay. Well, that town was actually Pihao, and it's a cool little town. It's south of here. It's you're funny. Okay. What do we got, John? Yeah. What's Nat's number? I want her to. I'm trying to get her to do a video on that date she had with the Canadian guy. You know, the guy that threw money at the waitress and screamed because the beer cost too much, and then messaged her endlessly after the date was over. Oh, it's been a half an hour. I set the alarm so that I don't want these things to go on forever. And so when that goes off, I'm going to try to begin the process of wrapping it up. So here you go. Last call for questions. You got any questions? Get them into me right now, and see if we can answer 3 or 4 more and wrap it up. And then I can start preparing for the Bills game. No, I've actually got that couple coming at 1 o'clock. Look at that. The water doesn't get clearer than this, does it? Oh, that's clear water. Okay. Okay. I misspoke. Okay. I mentioned a new mall that was built in Armenia. What's the name? I said there were 2 malls that were of that type, and completely forget it, spacing out that my building's attached to yet another mall. I mean, I walk by it every time I go out of my apartment. There's 3 malls like that. The one I probably misspoke. I do that a lot. It's new to me. It wasn't here back in 20 years ago when I used to come here, but you go there and it looks new. It's an awesome big mall with all the floors and the elevators and it's a very nice mall, very big, but it's actually been there for 15 years. So, but it's new to me. Hey, when when you're an old guy, everything is young and new. So that's Portal Condillo, and then you've got the older one, but it's big, and I've done videos of all these. You've got Unicentro, and then you've got Colima Mall, which is attached to me. That's the smallest of them all, but it's got movie theater and food court and a bunch of different banks. But what I have here that the others don't have is attached to that mall. I mean, you walk from the mall into it, is a big old home center, big one, bigger than the one in Manizales. Got this big old home center. For those of you who don't know, home center is it's like a Lowe's, I guess you would say, very similar. I've got 2 supermarkets within, one's in the mall and one's a half a block down from the mall. What's wrong with Canucks? Maybe it's the Labatt's beer, eh? No, there's this particular guy, and I'll tell you what I think the problem came from. In North America, Tinder is a hookup app. It's an app where you're feeling a little frisky and you want some company tonight. You see how I phrase things so that I'm not stepping over any lines. So you pull out your Tinder and you say, okay, I could have a roll in the hay with this one tonight, and you swipe right. Okay, that's Tinder in the United States. And that's Tinder somewhat in Medellin, although in Medellin, there's a lot of hookers in it. But in the rest of Colombia, Tinder is simply a dating app. It's like Facebook dating. It's like Latin America Cupid. It's a dating app. So I think part of what happened, and I'll leave this for the story, but I think the guy had certain expectations, and when they didn't happen, he got angry about the price of beer. But I think he didn't maybe know that. So he comes from Canada, he's here, he's going, Tinder, swipe right, connects with her. And she's, like, what are you doing? It's not going to happen, buddy. You want to lose your hand? That kind of thing. So just thought I'd throw that out there. If you're coming down here and you think you want to do some dating, keep that in mind. The mall has electric charging stations in the parking area. Okay. Somebody probably asked something that I missed. Guess they're not all polite. Yeah, Canadians are definitely not all polite. Don't get married again. Me? No, 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 that won't happen. For chess lovers, there's about 50 people playing chess right now at it's actually Fundadores Park. I love that place. I love at the south end of Fundadores Park. It's this long, skinny one. Kind of looks like Israel. It's shaped like that. And there's a little area at the end of the park that I featured in some videos. It's got a couple little coffee shops. One of them is I love it. It's one of my favorites. But they got a place that in the evening it's got chicken wings. You can buy liquor, like mixed drinks. You've got 2 or 3 different things like that in this park with this patio. It's awesome. It used to be a hopping place. Of course, with the COVID thing, you got everything shut down. They just recently they said you can't have any place with dancing. I mean, what the hell? Now they got this curfew now it's at 10 o'clock because I guess COVID comes out after 10, so you better be home. I mean, I don't even understand any of this stuff, but it's throwing everything in. Well, you guys, I mean, everywhere you go, you're dealing with this except maybe Florida. So it's it's got its effect here, but people find a way, and I'm not surprised that you got about 50 people playing chess. The people here are just so social. And Sundays is a family day. It's a go to the park day. So it's pretty cool. I kind of wish I wasn't so busy today. I'd run over there and get some video of it. What are the minimum requirements for a retirement visa? You got to have an income of just over $800 a month. You got to have a passport that's got more than 6 months before it expires. You fill out a form. Well, she does it for you. You got to have 2 passport photos, and you download a copy of your Social Security. No certifications or anything. She takes care of all that. I think that's about it. There's not much to it. I see great success for your services. Yeah, this was actually planned last year around March when all this hit. And, it's why I put money into a car that I don't need for myself. But, it is what it is. At least I'm not in a situation where I got a small business, invested a lot of money, and I went bankrupt, and now I don't know what to do, which has been a real issue here. And just as they start to recover again, they come out with some new rules. But fortunately, Armenia is still relatively open and free. We got that 10 o'clock curfew. Honestly, it doesn't affect me. I'm not out at 10 o'clock anyway. So, I mean, I might be up at 5 or 6, but I'm just not out. By the time it's 6, 7, maybe 8 o'clock on a special occasion, I'm back home. I love being in this apartment too. I mean, it's damn. I don't even know how to express how much I love being in this apartment. Where is it? Come on, come up. It's a good question. And there's a little delay here. There we go. Has the change in the exchange rate impacted you in any real way? Outside of having a little extra money, no. That extra money went into subsidizing things like this monitor stand, and I used it for the channel. I know I said I wouldn't, but that was free money. And when it first went up pretty higher, it was record highs, like got up to like 4,200 to the dollar. That was a big boost because I'd come out of that situation where I was so backwards. I was hurting, and that came along, and that really helped me recover. They're not huge differences. Everything is a matter. It's all relative, right? But a few $100s here or there is a world to me. Now, does it change much? What was my rent when I moved in here? $270, I think. and I think we're at $290 now. So my rent's gone up $20. It has some effect. But the thing is, when I budgeted things, well, the rent actually, I actually got it with the thinking that people coming, it's going to help subsidize that. So I'm paying more for the rent than I normally would have. But that aside, I budgeted things in general for the peso much lower. I looked at, okay, what would be worst case situation? And then I keep it at that. Now at that, I have no extra money, but I get my bills paid and, my life continues. And the pesos do tend, they've always gone up and down. But it's one of these deals where, it tends to be eking up more than it goes down. But has it affected me? Not really. I just kind of wish that, I had that windfall. It was nice having the little extra money, some things that I got, like those blankets. That came as a result of the extra money in the exchange rate that is not there now. So if I wanted to buy something like those blankets, I couldn't do it. Is a furnished apartment worth looking into? No, because you're probably not going to find it. And it's going to be overpriced. And you can buy used things reasonable enough here if you have a little bit of patience. So cheap. My refrigerator, $70. My washing machine, about the same. My living room furniture with a coffee table and an end table, a 2-seat sofa and 2 armchairs. All of that was about $200 delivered. My TVs, one for the clients and one in my bedroom, they're 42-inch, both 42-inch Samsungs. They cost me about $100 each. One was less than a year old, still had all the plastic on it. The other one, you could tell, was more used, and it was a little older model, but it's less than 4 years. So it's got everything that you need. Now it's too easy to furnish the apartment if you know where to look. Just ask me and I'll point you in the right direction. But the big key is Facebook Marketplace. It's freaking awesome. But Mercado Libre, I can get things from there, shipped to me, typically 2, 3, 4 days. So that's that. All right, let's call it a day. Let's wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that's tuned into the channel, everybody that supports the channel. A lot of you have been here for, 3 years, or even back when I began. A lot of different. Oh, you notice that mark is gone. I was able to polish it out without causing a problem. I don't see any distortions. So I think I did I have some lens polish equipment back when I had Canons with lenses and was more into photography. So I got to quit rambling on. That's it. Going to call it a day. Any apartments available in your building? Last I knew, no. Before last I knew, there was one. It's not an apartment building. There are no apartment buildings. They're individually owned condominiums, and people will decide to rent them. A lot of people retire, particularly out of Bogota, and they'll buy these places for their future retirement. And in the meantime, to cover the mortgage, they'll rent them. That's where apartments come from. There are no apartment buildings just for the sake of having apartment buildings. But what you want to do is, if you see a neighborhood you like, you see a building you like, go and ask the guard if there's anything open. You kind of want, the internet can help you narrow some things down, but your best finds are going to ultimately be on your feet. Okay, that's it. Ciao. See you next week. Thank you all. Love you all. It's been awesome.